Hello, everyone. My name is Ebonie Smith, and I will be presenting my senior project on alcohol preference in C. elegans. We're going to start with a little background. Alcoholism is an issue that can have detrimental effects on the individual who is struggling with the disorder. This condition also serves as an added stressor to individuals and can place strain on their current relationships, as well as negatively impact the development of new relationships. Alcoholism can be defined as a debilitating disorder for the individuals who experience it and can be very costly for society, according to Gilpin and Koob. This condition is also referred to as alcohol dependence. The purpose of my study is to examine how pre-exposure to ethanol may impact the alcohol preference in C. elegans. Previous research in humans have found that the development of alcoholism could be influenced by genetics. In the study above, genetic factors were examined and led to findings that state that genetics, as well as environmental factors, may determine a person's level of susceptibility to developing alcoholism. Prior research regarding drug exposure in C. elegans have been conducted where the organisms were used to demonstrate the effects of drug exposure on the nervous system, as well as drug sensitivity by exposing them to ethanol. I hypothesized that pre-exposure to ethanol will lead to the development of alcohol preference in C. elegans. The materials that I used in this study include disposable pipetters, chemotaxis buffer solution, prepared test plates. I have my two groups, control and pre-exposed C. elegans, as well as the ethanol solution that was used for the pre-exposed C. elegans, a timer to keep track of their movement, and Excel and Jamovi for calculating the results. So for the methods, I had two groups of C. elegans, the pre-exposed, which were placed in an ethanol solution prior to being placed on their test plate, and the control group that were placed on the test plate under normal conditions. Before putting the C. elegans on the test plate, a chemotaxis washing process had to be conducted, which used chemotaxis buffer to clean off any contaminants on the C. elegans before they were placed on their respective test plates. The specimen were counted every 10 minutes for a total of 30 minutes, and the results were recorded. The results that were recorded were the number of C. elegans in each test quadrant. The recorded numbers were then used to calculate the chemotaxis index, which can be found below here. My results, for my results section, I conducted a repeated measures ANOVA test. The difference between pre-exposed C. elegans and the alcohol preference was not significant. This is due to my p-value here of 0.1222, which is less than the 0.05. Due to this interaction not being significant, this indicates that there isn't much of a difference between the two conditions of pre-exposed and control. So for my discussion section, the chemotaxis index was calculated. The values from this calculation were then used to generate the data points on the graph. I conducted the repeated measures ANOVA test to get the results. Some implications of this research could include providing more insight on how environmental factors impact the development of alcoholism. It could be used in other animal participants such as mice, and it could also lead to broader research in humans and how extensive exposure to alcohol can cause detrimental effects over time. Some limitations of this include not conducting enough trials, which means that the information is not representative enough of a larger trial, of a larger population. The number of C. elegans in each group was not enough. I noticed that the control group had significantly more C. elegans than the pre-exposed group, and the accurate counting of C. elegans was also a limitation because when the timer stopped, it doesn't mean that the C. elegans don't stop moving around. It was kind of hard to keep track of them. I would like to thank Dr. Clerical for mentoring me through this very challenging process, especially during a pandemic. I really, really appreciate her knowledge and her mentoring skills. And these are my references. Thank you all so much for tuning in.